How to render multiple images for export to a digital textile printer using ExactFlat Monarch.
All right, so a really cool feature of Monarch is that when we create a pattern like this, and we've got a texture on it, we've texture mapped our model, we can go in and we can add other textures. So we could, if you can visualize this, we could have a virtual digital swatch library, and we can go through and we can drag and drop different materials, different textures onto this 3D model. And once we had the patterns flattened, simply push a button and go to a fabric printer. So there's this to me would seem that it would save a tremendous amount of time for the designer. So let me show you what I mean. I'm just going to flatten a single couple of pieces. So we'll select this piece and maybe this piece and this piece, three pieces. We'll go into our top view and we'll simply spring these, get them ready for um, flattening and optimizing. Now we've been using the leopard pattern, and I've got a couple other ones here that I've got that I'm going to go into in a second. So we have this leopard pattern here. Let me just use our find tool. We're going to find these other pieces and simply going to move them out a bit. But I'll explain to you what I mean by being able to simply go through a digital library. I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a couple other materials or textures. I'm going to use this Japanese texture, and I'm also going to use this floral print texture. So here, if I go into my rendered view, we've got these textures here. Just move them over so you can see what I'm doing, and maybe what I'll do is so I have our leopard pattern here. I can simply go and drag this pattern, and as you can see, as I drag the pattern over, it's going to change the material, the texture. So now I got my floral pattern, go back to my Japanese pattern, and since these are flat already, I don't have to reprocess anything. I just push a button and shove it out to the printer. Let's go bring our leopard pattern back in. Go, well, let's go use our leopard pattern. Let's go back and use, oh, do I like the floral pattern? Do I like this pattern? What pattern do I like? Well, the floral pattern looks pretty good. And guess what? These things match perfectly. They've been flattened. If I zoom in to this, let's go to the top view. And let's just take a look. If I drag these pieces on, guess what? They fit perfectly. I have to go back and figure stuff out. Flattened it once, it's ready to go. It's ready to go to the printer. I think this is a huge savings for folks. As I said, go back. Let's go back to the dress. Let's take a look at it again. Okay, got our leopard pattern. Let's go. Fits perfect. Let's go to the flower. What happens if we change this to a flower pattern? Well, we do. Guess what? Everything fits perfect again. Could you imagine having 1,000 swatches digitally over here in this corner and simply drag and drop, drag and drop, and the patterns update automatically? Oh, I like that. Guess what? Now I'm going to print it. So what do I do to print? Select those pieces, this piece and this piece. I want that sent to my printer. Okay, let's go. This is going to be 200 DPI. I'm going to do this at 200 DPI. And don't want any conversion. And let's render to the desktop. Guess what? Let's drag this material over. Okay, great. I want to render that. I'm going to send that to my fabric printer. Okay. Select the pieces to render. I want that piece and I want this piece. Hit enter on my keyboard. It's 200 DPI. That's what my printer takes, 200 DPI. Again, next. No conversion. That's the pattern I want. Great. Let's render it. Let's just take a look at what it looks like on my screen. Well, there's the pattern I just rendered. Where's our other patterns? So that's the one pattern. Here's my second pattern. And if I want to render, go back and I want to render the floral pattern, let's go render the floral pattern. Same thing. Select the pieces I want to render. And go into 200 DPI. And this is at 200 DPI. No conversion. Next. And render. And let's see what we have here. Here's our pieces. They're rendered perfectly.
This has been a tutorial on how to render multiple images for export and printing on a digital textile printer using ExactFlat Monarch. For more information, visit exactflat.com/monarch.